Oh, Adam, you took yours down. What did you do?
Oh, no, I didn't have one.
Oh, sorry, Tyler. I'm sorry, Tyler.
Oh,
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Oh, I'm starting to sound like Adam Blompade. Sorry about that. Welcome. It is Money in the Bank weekend. That's right. And we are here to do our Money in the Bank predictions. I am John from WrestleScope TV, joined the first time ever having three people on the show. I'm joined by Tyler Woodward and the living legend himself, Adam Pearson. Good. Well, it's good afternoon for you two gentlemen. It is 2 p.m. GST where you are. I just woke up. It is 8 a.m. here in Milwaukee, but I'm ready to go.
Than me. You look more awake than me. I've been up since about 5 o'clock this morning.
Oh my goodness. It's already been a long day for you, Tyler, but we're ready to have some fun here today. We are going to talk Money in the Bank. It is tomorrow. We finally get fans back in the stands. Well, for the second time in 17 months for WWE. They did have fans back for both nights of WrestleMania. And up until last night, this is a show that I really was not overly excited about, to be perfectly honest. I didn't think the build was that great, and now all of a sudden it's kind of changed. Things have kind of turned around, and Tyler, you and I were talking about this before the stream. A report came out this morning that WWE has not really made the final decision on who is going to win the briefcases tomorrow night.
I said this off air to begin with you. I feel like they're going to do it based off crowd reaction. I think whoever gets the biggest pop from their entrance, I feel like that's who they're going to go for. I'm more worried on the women's Money in the Bank side of things because I was watching Natalya versus Tamina versus Shotzi and Tegan Nox. How they gave her one name now, I don't understand, but that's a different
it's the WWE
story.
way. It's just what they do.
I noticed during the brawl afterwards, Tamina smashed her knee into the steps. So I feel like that's how they are going to take Tamina out, and they're going to put someone like Becky Lynch, Sonya Deville, or Sasha Banks in. And I feel like that's who's going to win.
Well, I know we're supposed to be getting some surprises over the next couple of weeks. And really, the only big one we got last night was Finn Balor. We know that the reports are out there. John Cena is going to show up next week, Friday. A Fightful Select reported that Goldberg is showing up Monday. I know.
I got the email. I instantly deleted it.
Fortunately, I wasn't driving when I heard the news, but Adam, any quick thoughts on the build for this pay-per-view before we get into our predictions?
I am so excited to have live crowds back at wrestling shows because much as Tyler alluded to earlier, we have no idea who's over. No idea at all. All our assumptions are based on piped-in crowd noise. And I'm so used to hearing Sami Zayn get booed that when I heard a crowd sort of really get behind him last night, I was like, this is really different. I like this. And then they brought out Balor, and I marked out a little bit. It sort of took the taste of Goldberg and depression out my mouth for about 30 seconds. Then I looked at Twitter and realized, oh no, that's still happening.
Yeah.
I think hands down, we could say the biggest star in WWE right now is Vince McMahon. Okay. That was the absolute perfect way for them to kick off SmackDown after they had that great video package. Him just coming out and saying in Mr. McMahon way, where the hell have you been? And walking off. It was perfect. It was absolutely
It was the perfect way to start off SmackDown.
It was so well done. There was a little bit of me going, you should really lean into it. Really interesting. Yeah. Say welcome to AEW SmackDown.
Yes. No, it'll be what do they call it? What's AEW calling? Oh, Rampage. Yeah. Welcome to SmackDown Rampage. Where the hell have you been? All right, so let's get into this. It was announced last night that, and just kind of a side thought, that on the pre-show, we're back to getting decent matches on the pre-show. We get the SmackDown Tag Team Championship, Rey and Dominic Mysterio taking on the Uso brothers. I would have flipped this. I would have put the Raw Tag Team Championship on the pre-show and put this one on the main show. This one makes more sense for a main show, unless they're trying to do something big where they're trying to get the fans involved. I don't know if right now is the time to pull the trigger on the Usos winning the tag team titles. I'm thinking they hold off until SummerSlam for this. It's going to be a great match. You're still going to have that miscommunication a little bit between Jimmy and Jay. I'm going to go out on a limb here, and I'm going to say it's going to be a Rey and Dominic retention.
I'm inclined to disagree with you there, John, because I feel like the story, the Uso story has dominated SmackDown, and having the bloodline with all those titles is a perfect way for this story to continue. As I'm picking the Usos for this. I just feel like it's a perfect way to not cap off this story, but it's another chapter in this story where the Usos are still kind of like at each other's throats, but they have to be cohesive because they are the tag champs now. They are representing the family.
Oh, are you saying that they're going to do Ken, Jimmy, and Jay coexist?
I don't know, but I feel like the story kind of necessitates the titles, and no offense to Dom and Rey, but they haven't done anything with them. I think they want them off. They want them Backlash. Want them at Backlash, yes. Where really that should have happened in front of crowds. That should have happened at WrestleMania. They should have had their big moment, but now coming into Money in the Bank, they're not getting their big moment. They're getting dominated by arguably the best tag team in WWE.
All right, Adam, what do you think? Which way is it going for the SmackDown Tag Team Championship?
Personally, I think this is a very smart choice to put on the kickoff show, because it's going to get the crowd really hot really quickly and just bring the energy right up. I reckon putting the Raw on the pre-show would have been a bit more of a slow, plodding match, and you want a hot crowd at the start of the show. You want to get that atmosphere back ASAP. And I'm with Tyler. I'm giving this to the Usos.
All right. So we've got our first disagreement of the day. Hold on, who said that? Who was it that said that in the chat? Oh my goodness, come on. Maddie. Maddie, I just answered you. I'm just answering you in the chat about. All right. So our next match, let's stick with the tag team championships, and we are going to go with the Raw Tag Team Championship, which I would have to. I don't think they're going to open the show with this one. I think they're going to end up opening the show with Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair for the Women's Championship. But let's talk Raw Tag Team Championship. AJ Styles and Omos, the champions, taking on the Viking Raiders. And let's switch this up. Tyler, let's have you go first with your prediction.
I think it's the start. I think it's Styles and Omos retaining. I think they're building RK Bro up to these tag titles. I feel like with Randy Orton now kind of like slowly starting to warm to Riddle, I feel like a great SummerSlam match between Styles and Omos, and RK Bro would be great. You could probably see Riddle try and slam Omos, probably get him off his feet once or twice before he eventually does it. It's almost like his Andre Hogan moment, and that's that's kind of the downfall of them losing. So I think it's Styles and Omos retaining. I feel the Viking Raiders are great. But they haven't done much with them. Ever since they come back the Raw after Mania, they haven't done anything with them. I feel like they've only given this to throw them a bone. No pun intended. With the turkey leg,
a big turkey bone.
Yeah. I think it's a Styles and Omos retention, and then it builds to Styles and Omos versus RK Bro at SummerSlam.
Adam, what about you? Do you agree, disagree with Tyler?
I agree. I also agree with the sentiment that what WWE have done with the Viking Raiders. Go back and watch them as War Machine.
Yeah.
And just it pales in comparison. It's verging on criminal what they've done to the Viking. Remember the Viking experience? Oh my word! What was all that nonsense?
They went through like 6 name changes within like 6 weeks.
Well, and don't forget about their wonderful feud with the Street Profits. Remember that feud they had with the Street Profits, where they had it? They went bowling and they did all these other things.
I don't know if I'm remembering this feud correctly, and because I don't take drugs, but when I talk about the Viking Raiders Street Profits feud, it sounds like I take drugs. Were there or were there not ninjas, crocodiles, and aliens involved at one point? Did that happen?
Were there aliens? I remember the ninjas. I remember the crocodiles. I don't remember the aliens. But hey, it was early on in the pandemic, so anything was possible.
It got them on TV. I feel like that's why I was happy with it, because it got them on TV. It got them doing something different, in a sense where they're not like, yes, they were very good as War Machine, but I feel like this showed them a different side of their character. But now they need to move back to the War Machine days.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, they need to wrestle well, because the goal for everyone in this match is to keep Omos looking strong. They can't expose Omos as just another big guy, which at the moment, I'm sad to say, is what he is.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I'm going to agree with both of you guys that there's definitely a Styles and Omos retention here. And Tyler, you had said it, they're leading towards Styles and Omos versus RK Bro at SummerSlam. I agree that that's the direction they are going. All right, on to our next match. Let's see. And this card lineup, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, it's really going to define if there's going to be a cash in later on what matches end up where. And I believe this is actually going to be one of the early matches here, possibly the opener of the show, is the Raw Women's Championship. Rhea Ripley, the champion, taking on Charlotte Flair. Out of any match of the night, this is the one I care the least about. Even though this is the one that's probably the most up in the air, other than the 2 Money in the Bank matches. Adam, let's go ahead and start with you. Do we get a retention, or does Charlotte become the 14-time champion?
I have absolutely hated every second of the build to this match.
Yeah,
it has. It's just laughable. How it's been built. I don't know who the good guy is. I don't know who the heel of baby faces are in all of this. Rhea Ripley has just come over as insanely unlikable throughout this whole ordeal. And I really hope they just let them go in there and wrestle like they did when they wrestled for the NXT title a couple of years ago. Just let them go out there and have a banner of a match. Don't do any shenanigans or skullduggery. Don't turn it into sort of like a comedy-esque match. Just, you've got 2 of the best wrestlers in the company by far. Let them go out there and show it. I am giving this to Charlotte Flair.
All right. Again, I don't care about this match. I like you said, Adam. Who's the good guy? Who's the bad guy? Who's the face? Who's the heel? It's gone back and forth. I've said it before on my streams and other streams. I cannot stand Charlotte Flair's promos. She is a great athlete. She is a great wrestler, but keep her off the microphone, please. This may be, if I have to run to the bathroom, this will be the run to the bathroom match because I'll just come back for the finish of it. I don't think they're going to put the belt on Charlotte yet, because if they do, what does this mean for Rhea Ripley? I mean, this has been an absolutely horrific title run for her since she won the belt.
Yeah.
It has not been good. She's already lost she lost the NXT title to Charlotte before. What does this mean for her? I honestly think right now they are going to keep the belt on Rhea Ripley. It's not time to put it back on Charlotte quite yet.
I'm inclined to agree with you there as well, because I'm sick to death of Charlotte. I get it. She's great. Obviously, I think she's awesome and everything like that. But I'm sick to death of them putting her in this spot of being this big, massive champion and all that. Like, they put her so high on a pedestal, someone needs to knock her down a peg. And the story now with Rhea losing her title in front of no fans, well, one fan, the ceiling fan, but but I feel like they haven't used that story at all, and I feel like they should do that within this match. There should feel like a bit of jeopardy, like there's going to be a repeat of WrestleMania 36, but Rhea pulls it out of the bag. And I think they should build her to Becky Lynch.
Well, the big thing is, which show is Becky Lynch going to? Is she going to SmackDown? Is she going to Raw? And obviously, we have the draft, the Superstar Shakeup coming up. I believe right after 2 weeks after SummerSlam.
I think it starts in August.
Yes,
I believe August 28th.
Yes,
I believe off the top of my head. I think that's the draft.
Yeah, so it's the post. Well, it'll be two SmackDowns after SummerSlam. So I had said earlier, your pick, Tyler, was Rhea. I'm sorry, I got lost in the comments there. Okay, I had mentioned this previously, that what I would have liked to have seen with Charlotte Flair was she loses. And this is going back a couple of months, and she has kind of the redemption storyline where she's got to build her way back up to get to the championship. She's got to start taking out other people. It's not this, I'm the opportunity, I deserve to have this. They could have had a 6 to 9 month long build for her working her way back to the championship. And maybe when we get to Survivor Series or Royal Rumble, then she wins it. But they fast-tracked it again and have really turned fans off to this entire feud. And it's just one of many problems with the women's division right now in WWE. All right, let's go ahead and take a look at, let's go into one of the main men's title matches. This is one that really got ruined for me yesterday, actually Thursday, when the news about Goldberg returning on Monday came out.
Yeah,
I really didn't think there was much of a chance of Kofi Kingston winning this title, but now it's very apparent that Bobby Lashley is going to retain against Kofi Kingston, because Goldberg's not just going to come back to have a one-off with Lashley with no title on the line. Sadly, I have to say Bobby Lashley is going to win this match and retain. Well, not sadly, but I was really hoping to say, okay, maybe we're going to see Kofi Mania 2, but it's not going to happen. Bobby Lashley retains.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely think Bobby is going to retain, but my ideal situation would have been Bobby retaining, Big E cashes in, and then we build to Big E versus Goldberg at SummerSlam. because that's Big E's big dream match he wants, and I feel having Big E going in with that WWE Championship would be awesome. Him versus Goldberg with some stakes on the line, and that's my ideal situation. But I think Bobby's retaining. 100%.
Speaking of stakes, do you think that this decision on Goldberg was made late because Brock Lesnar, the rumored Brock Lesnar Bobby Lashley match obviously isn't happening because Brock Lesnar is too busy cutting up meat up in Minnesota? I don't know if you've seen the TikToks of him with the Butcher Brothers with the new haircut and everything. I think it's awesome. I think that would be an awesome gimmick for him where he comes out as Butcher Brock. With the big apron and looks like old school Bray Wyatt.
I definitely think it's a last minute decision. Definitely. I think Goldberg was their second option. I feel like Goldberg's always been their second option because they can hold off. They can have Goldberg do pretty much anything. I feel probably not supposed to be beating Bray Wyatt like he did, but again, I feel like they want to do whatever they want with Goldberg. I don't think he should win at SummerSlam, but it's going to be two big men slapping meat. In the words of Big E.
Yes. All right. Adam Pearson, do you think it's Kofi Mania 2?
Before we go any further, I'd just like to say that Brock Lesnar's new haircut looks amazing and doesn't make him look like a retired mechanic having a midlife crisis. Please don't kill me, Brock. Now,
he's actually stealing it from Lance Archer. He wants to grow it out and be that's what I want to see on Dynamite, a promo where Lance Archer maybe doesn't directly say Brock Lesnar, but does make some reference to it about meat or something.
Yeah. Or he just calls himself the Beast Incarnate.
Oh, yes. All right. Sorry, Adam, I interrupted you. Your pick for Kofi versus Bobby.
You're completely fine. I just want to make sure that all three of us are safe from the ire of Brock Lesnar. I think the Goldberg return, as you've all correctly alluded to, has completely telegraphed. It's either telegraphed the ending to this match, or it is the best double bluff they've done in well over 5 years. They've either telegraphed the match or they're working this like a cheap hooker. One of the two. And I think they telegraphed it. So I think we're getting, and similar to Tyler, I think at SummerSlam we're getting the triple threat.
Goldberg, Kofi, and Bobby? Or Bobby, Brock, and Goldberg? Oh my goodness.
I think we're getting Big E, Goldberg, Bobby.
I could see that. I would very much love to see that. I think that should main event. If that happens, that should main event SummerSlam. Sorry, Roman. Don't come at me, but that should main event SummerSlam if that is the way they're going to go with it.
Well, I think what's going to end up happening actually is I think Roman and Cena are going to open SummerSlam because you're going to want something huge at the beginning, and going into SummerSlam, there is nothing bigger than Roman Reigns versus John Cena.
I love that. I love that. I think Reigns retires him to open the show. I think this whole feud is based on the old promos they used to cut against each other, where Cena said, "You should be ashamed I'm a part-timer because I do this better part-time than you ever could full-time." And Roman's like, "Say that again," and then just chokes him out.
Yeah, it's called a promo, kid. It's called a promo, kid. Learn to do it.
It was. I feel like they had a missed opportunity back then in 2017 by having that match on No Mercy. That is a main event on a SummerSlam or Survivor Series or WrestleMania or Royal Rumble. That is a main event on any of the big four pay-per-views, really. and they wasted it on No Mercy.
I don't know if it was so much a waste back then, because you look at now. I think it was maybe they were telegraphing back then, of doing something like this, where you've got the monster heel Roman Reigns, the head of the table, against the legend, the guy that cut him down years ago. 4 years of build to this. It's absolutely perfect. Well, since we're talking Roman Reigns, let's talk about Roman Reigns versus Edge. Finally, the one-on-one matchup for the Universal Championship. Edge, who has seemingly gotten the upper hand against the entire tribal family over the last few weeks, he finally gets his one-on-one shot. I think we're going to see Daniel Bryan run in, interrupt here, get involved. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
It's going to be a triple threat again.
It's going to be a triple threat at the last minute. Sonya Deville is going to change it to a triple. Teddy Long is actually going to come out and be upset about how. No,
he's going to insert himself in the match. We'll get Teddy Long. We'll get Teddy Long as Universal Champion.
No, we will not see the return of Daniel Bryan at Money in the Bank. It's not going to happen. This will be a one-on-one match.
If any of that happens, I'm coming for both of you. Out there now.
Hey, keep in mind, I'm closer. I live closer to Brock Lesnar than both of you do. So I'll get Brock Lesnar to come protect me from you, Adam Pearson.
It's fine. Right. It's fine, Adam. We've got Walter. It's fine.
Oh, but Walter's hurt. Walter's got that busted up hand right now, so he's hurt.
That's true.
Brock knows how to carve up meat now. Okay, let's get serious.
I'm scared of Brock Lesnar. He can take his meat and his crap haircut and bring it.
Fighting words there. Okay, let's get serious here, though. Roman Reigns versus Edge. I've loved the build-up for this match over the last couple of weeks. It has been absolutely fantastic. Everything around this has just been as close to perfect as possible. I think this actually could be the match of the night. I think this match could shine over both of the Money in the Bank ladder matches. And that's saying a lot considering who some of the guys are in the men's match.
Yeah.
I don't, even though Roman Reigns has held that title for 321 days now, it's not time to take it off of him. And Edge is not the guy. And obviously they are building and leading towards Edge versus Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. Roman Reigns is going to retain. I don't know if he is going to make Edge. I think he might actually make Edge tap out in the guillotine as kind of comeuppance for everything that's happened over the last month. Roman Reigns with the guillotine will retain.
I'm not being biased or anything, but wreck everyone and leave. That is what Roman is going to be doing.
Oh,
I've loved Edge's return ever since he come back at the Rumble in 2020. I've loved everything he's done up till now, winning the Royal Rumble from the number one spot, going into WrestleMania. Yes, we were supposed to be getting the big singles match between them, but I'm glad we're getting it here now because the WrestleMania build wasn't that great, and inserting Daniel Bryan was the best option. I feel off the top of my head, I feel really, and I think so many puns.
Yes. All right, Adam, what about you? Is the head of the table going to keep his title, or is the Rated R Superstar going to be the champion?
Roman's keeping it. I'm completely on board with what you said, John. I reckon Edge goes to a spear, and Roman just shifts his body weight slightly and counters it straight into a guillotine.
I love that.
But the question is, does he pass out or does he tap out?
Oh, Edge will pass out.
I would love to see him do the tap out, just based on everything that Edge has been doing to Roman and the Usos the last couple of weeks. But I think you're right. I think it's going to be a pass out.
I think it might. I think they should. I think he should pass out because that almost keeps him strong for Rollins at SummerSlam. I always say that every time someone passes out instead of tapping out, I feel like they're building them for someone else. So it's almost they can have that caveat of I never tapped out, I passed out. Like probably passing out probably sounds a bit worse, but it kind of shows that he hasn't given up.
Yeah, I never gave up. Yeah. I never gave up. All right.
It protects that move so well as well, the guillotine. I have a question for both you gentlemen and for people in the chat. How many times do you think that Michael Cole will mention that Edge has a surgically repaired neck during this match?
I've got the over-under at 2 on that one. So I'm going to go over.
I'm going to say over as well because he likes spewing out a lot of things. There's like sort of things that he says like, "Oh my," and "vintage Orton." Like he will say those wherever, and I think it's the surgically repaired neck is the new thing for Edge.
I hate when Michael Cole goes. Remember when he said vintage bragging rights at the first bragging rights? Yeah. I reckon at least 4. That's my prediction.
Okay. So I think we're all going with the over on that one.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the women's Money in the Bank match. It is Asuka, Naomi, Alexa Bliss, Nikki. Sorry, it should be Nikki Ash, Liv Morgan, Zelina Vega, Natalya, and may or may not be Tamina, which was probably the most underwhelming announcement ever because WWE just snuck that in on Twitter. Oh, by the way, the last entrant in the women's Money in the Bank is Tamina.
I feel bad for Tamina. I honestly do because we've got our expectations so high for this. It's the first pay-per-view in front of first WWE pay-per-view in front of a full crowd of people. And we're expecting surprises. We've seen it on Fightful Select. Have always been saying it's all hands on deck for Money in the Bank and SummerSlam. It is all hands on deck for the fan return. Like we saw Balor return last night. I think our expectations have been so high for this. Tamina kind of like just settle it down. But I think Ross at Cultaholic is having a mind day with this. He loves Tamina. I enjoy Tamina. I like Tamina as well. I think she's great. She's a little bit underrated, but I think I'm in the crowd of one here.
Yeah. I'm looking at this like, okay, she is not that great in the ring. She was a last minute throw in. Could we hear, going back to our last discussion, a Michael Cole vintage, it's boss time? Because Tyler, you had mentioned it before, Tamina, They could be playing an injury angle. They need to bring somebody else in. Who else is there? I don't think it's Becky Lynch. I don't think it's Becky Lynch yet. I think if it's anybody, it will be Sasha Banks because you add her into it, and that immediately adds just a huge level of star power to this match that, no offense to any of these ladies in this match, but it's missing. It is truly missing in this match.
And I don't like the way they've built it on SmackDown. Because it's just Sonya Deville coming out and announcing them.
Yes.
I get that the SmackDown women's division is so thin, but we could have had people from NXT come up, have the qualifiers, even some of them win a few. Like for example, Shotzi and Tegan Nox, they beat Tamina and Natalya last night and the week before. Why aren't they in the match?
Why wait for Toni Storm until next week? Why not have her be one of the qualifiers?
Yeah.
Just bring her up straight away. I didn't understand it either. So based on that, Tyler, who is your definitive lockdown pick for the women's Money in the Bank match?
Okay, so I feel this is going to go off crowd reaction, and I think Nikki Cross or Nikki Ash is going to get the biggest crowd reaction, and it's going to be Nikki Ash. That's my definitive decision there. I don't want to go back on it because I'll talk myself out of it, but I think it's definitely got to be her.
All right, Adam Pearson, what you say, my friend?
I'm with Tyler. As someone that has listened to Tyler talk himself out of being correct on many a radio quiz, I'm gonna plant my flag. And dude, I can't believe you like Tamina. She can't hit her own finisher. What are you talking about? No, it's absolutely Nikki Ash. No one else needs it or would benefit from it.
See, I am still torn on this. I'm gonna do this by process of elimination. Asuka is not winning it because she's done it before. Naomi is not winning it. Natalya is not winning. Tamina is not winning. Zelina Vega is going to get buried in this match, unfortunately. I've got it down to Nikki Ash and Liv Morgan. I don't think it's Liv Morgan's time. And the big question mark for me is, if Tamina's not in it, who is replacing her? I feel like I'm the Wrestle Talk guys, where it's, you know, the TBD, the to be announced. But okay, I'm gonna go along with you guys. I'm gonna go with Nikki Ash, but I'm gonna put the caveat that if Tamina is out, I think whoever replaces Tamina is going to win it. And if it is Sasha Banks, I would love to see Sasha Banks as the boss in the bank. That would be awesome. Yeah. That would be awesome.
Like spray paint it on there like RVD did with his when he won it back in 2006 or 2005. Yes. Yeah. Like make it our own. Like you can sell that as well. Like
all right, and our final match of the night is the men's Money in the Bank match. Ricochet, John Morrison, Riddle, Drew McIntyre, Big E, Kevin Owens, Shinsuke Nakamura, and Seth Rollins. Oh, I should say Shinsuke Nakamura with Rick Boogs and his guitar.
They've ruined Rick Boogs, man. He's just so annoying now.
Hey, but he's getting TV time, and it's not in an Old Spice deodorant commercial anymore.
That is true.
This is another one I'm having a hard time with. I've got it down to two guys. I've got it down to two, Seth Rollins and Big E. I think the guys that are going to shine in this match are Ricochet, Morrison, and Riddle are going to do some absolutely ridiculous things in the ring. I'm excited for that. We're going to have the big slapping going on between McIntyre, Owens, and Big E. I don't think Seth Rollins is going to win the briefcase a second time. My heart is telling me Big E, but then that means my heart's telling me one thing. Oh, I'm going to start sounding like Alex McCarthy here. My heart's telling me one thing, my head's telling me no, but I'm going to go with Big E. I have to go with Big E because I think now is the time for him to win the briefcase.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think my second kind of pick would be Riddle, because he even turned around and said I think he said it on Raw. He was like, "Oh, if I win the briefcase, I can cash in on the tag titles, and me and Randy can be tag champs." I think that'd be awesome. I also think he could even just gift it to Randy as well. Ooh. Because he feels bad for not getting him into the qualifier, not winning the last chance qualifier, and like practically breaking his foot. We could also see Riddle not be like cleared to be in this, and he's like, the only person I want to take over my spot is Randy. There's there's so many possibilities with the RK Bro story within this as well. But I agree with you, John. It has to be Big E. I can't be watching him in the IC title picture for another 6 months.
No,
it's been since the Rumble. He's been in that title picture. He held it, but it's just all he's cared about is that, and the fact that he qualified over Apollo Crews. It was probably about their 15th match or something like that, which is ridiculous. I feel like it's time to pull the trigger on Big E, and we get Big E move to Raw, and we reunite the New Day, and we get, instead of Kofi Mania, we get Big E Mania.
I like that. Adam Pearson, I get the feeling you're going to go in a different direction, though.
I'm afraid. Sorry to bring you all a heavy dose of reality. Sometimes dreams don't come true. Sometimes Bambi's mom dies, Yella gets shot, and things just don't go the way we want them to. Therefore, gentlemen, the winner of the men's Money in the Bank match 2021 will be Kevin Owens.
What? KO?
Whoa!
Yeah. Wow.
I genuinely thought you were going to go for Drew.
No.
You swerved me there, because I genuinely thought you were going for Drew McIntyre. But
I thought he was going to go with Johnny Drip, and that would cause the breakup of Morrison and Miz. But wow, Kevin Owens. Does this mean, Adam, if you're right, does this mean that KO stays a babyface or he turns heel again as Mr. Money in the Bank?
I don't care, because no matter what, because he does both so well, and just think how entertaining Kevin Owens is going to be with that briefcase.
He would be very entertaining with the briefcase. All right, one last one before I have to jump out of here. Will we see either one of the two briefcases cashed in tomorrow night?
No.
I don't think so.
No,
we're all in agreement. So I am thinking if that's the case, that the men's Money in the Bank ladder match main events the show.
Yeah.
I do not think it will be down the card. I think that is going to be the main event of the show. That's why I think Big E's going to win, because he's going to get his big crowning moment at the end of the show, and Kofi and Woods are going to come out and celebrate with him, and that's how we go off the air for Money in the Bank. Though having Kevin Owens out there too on top of the ladder would be kind of a very cool moment. Well,
we could even see Kofi and Xavier come out and celebrate with him.
Yes. I would love to see that.
Fireworks going off and all that. It could again, I feel like Money in the Bank is supposed to be this crowd pleaser.
Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us here today. Tyler Woodward and Adam Pearson. Let me see. Let me get your stuff up here. I've got it flipped. I'm sorry, but you can. I also have a
YouTube channel as well. I was just going to do a little bit of a cheap plug on there. Last Man Standing on YouTube as well. We're literally one off of 60 subscribers. I've got a few bits coming out. We've got the Money in the Bank predictions that we've come out to crown Last Man Standing in the Bank. I'm not part of it because I'm the champion. But yeah, again, this has been awesome. Thank you for having me on, John. Yeah. Please go give Tyler Woodward a subscribe over at Last Fan Standing. And Adam Pearson, where can people find you on social media as well?
I am on the old Twitter sphere at Adam_Pearson, and I'm Adam Pearson Videos on the old YouTube.
All right. And as you can see on the scroll here, please give a like to this video. That would really show that you love these guys, not me, but these guys. Subscribe to the channel. Go give Tyler a subscribe. Go give Adam a subscribe. And please hit the notification bell as well so you can be notified every time a new video comes up. I think we need to do this again, guys. We definitely need to do this because this has been fun. And as the great Carol says, it's been a great show. And Maddie, yep, this has been class. And no, Maddie, it's not here. Oh, look at that. Carol just subscribed. All right. Awesome. And I think she's talking about you, Tyler, because I know she's subscribing to my channel. So thank you very much.
Carol.
Yep. Enjoy Money in the Bank tomorrow night. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic show, I hope. I'm hoping it's going to be a fantastic show. We shall see. But thank you very much. Have a great weekend, everybody. I think maybe we need to... Oh, Slammiversary is tonight. I'm not watching it, but maybe I'll try breaking it on somebody's stream. Kenny Omega is retaining tonight. Kenny Omega is retaining.
100%.
That's my final prediction. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Enjoy Money in the Bank. And make sure you subscribe to all of us.